Good morning. Can everybody hear me in the back? Raise your hand if you can. Thank you. Wow, another full house. This is the third time we are doing it, and it's great to see a lot of familiar faces and some new faces, and I'm just so excited that it's getting continuously bigger and better, and we have a lot of interesting possibilities together to achieve, in our objective of driving and helping the India market in printing and packaging reach its next logical level. I pardon some of the kinks here and there. We sort of take agile development to the extreme, that some of the things that got built here got built literally, even the permanent stuff got literally built and handed over a day or two ago. So, I'm pretty sure by next time it's going to be a great fixture in that. Once again, I want to thank all of you for taking your valuable time, and I'm looking forward to hearing great presentations from you. There's a lot for our engineers to learn. And over the last 6 months that we have been doing this, clearly I can see the difference in the language our engineers speak, and our understanding of the differences, similarities and differences between the Indian market and the global printing and packaging market. But learning is a continuous process. By no means we're just beginning the journey, and there's a long way for us to learn from each other. So without further ado, I'm going to call Madhulika to come on stage and introduce the new members of this panel. Later on, we will also talk about the existing, introduce the rest of the members. And I'm very happy to welcome Toby Weiss, who is our Senior Vice President and Head of Fiery Business Unit. So if anybody's got any complaints, problems, etc. about Fiery, you know who to catch. Put him right on the bullseye. Toby would be the first one to go and really want to know about what's not working, and would be the first one to push everybody to get better and better every passing moment. So really happy, Toby, that you're here. Looking forward. And also Steve Green, who, most of you know him, but for those who don't, Steve heads our Asia Pac business, and it's great to have you, Steve. We also have a couple of other senior leaders here. Joseph, if you can stand for a minute. Joseph is as engineering Silicon Valley as you can get. And all your tough, come on, Joseph, you got to give me. But Joseph is responsible for all the Fiery core development, the amazing amount and amazing technology that goes into the Fiery core that manifests into a multitude of products for various OEMs. At the heart of that technology is Joseph's team. We also have Andy Yara, who's heading Fiery for APAC. And with that, Madhu, can you please take it forward? Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sam. So for today's event, it's me, myself, Madhulika, HR Manager of EFI India, and my co-host.
I am Abhijit. Hi.
So we'll be taking you through the event today. So thanks a lot, Sam, for the wonderful introduction. So we are all very excited to the start of 2015 with the Advisory Council Meet 3. And this time we have a very exciting theme. It's application of technology in digital printing and packaging world. So this time the focus will be on application of technology, which is like printing on varied substrates, end-to-end workflows, variable data printing, etc. So the theme unfolds with addition of new advisors to our council who represent various domains in the printing industry. So my co-host Abhijit, without much ado, will introduce all our new advisors in alphabetical order. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madhulika. It's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Asha Sampath, ceramic consultant and former managing director of Indica Ceramics India Private Limited. Asha is a chartered accountant, company secretary, and ICMA UK by qualification and was associated with Indica for 20 years. Indica Ceramics is a global player of raw and processed marketing materials and intermediate products to the ceramic industry. Prior to assuming managing directorship in 2008, she has been holding the position of general manager, where she worked on greenfield project in Gujarat for manufacture of glass frits, Indica's pilot plant in Asia for the product. Her earlier work association includes stints with Price Waterhouse, Kirloskar Electric, and Carrier Transicold. She is currently freelancer into academics and consulting and as a corporate growth and brand strategist. Happy to have you, ma'am. We are glad to have with us today Mr. Himanshu Pandey, Director, Avantika Printers Private Limited. Avantika Printers is a Delhi-based organization which started its operation in 1988 with a small silk printing unit, and over a period of 27 years, it has been turned into the state-of-the-art printing production company. With its digital printing operations started in the year 2007, Avantika continuously bagged Digital Printer of the Year for successive years starting 2011 to 2013, given by the Print Week India. Himanshu is one of the directors of Avantika Printers Private Limited. He joined his family-run business around 12 years ago and is currently heading the digital printing department of the company. Welcome, sir. We definitely look forward to hearing more from you. It's an honor to have with us Mr. Jagdish Bajaj, Managing Director, Print Express. Print Express is established in the year 2000 and is recognized as a leading service provider of digital printing solutions of business cards, posters, invitation cards, roll-ups, and banners. Further to their quality, flexibility, and other such factors, Print Express extensively caters to clients both from commercial and non-commercial sectors. Welcome, sir. We are eager to hear your success stories and delighting customers consistently. I am happy to welcome Mr. Sachindranath Udupa, Operations Director, Queen Bee Transfer India Private Limited. The theme of our last council meet revolved around emerging technologies in print industry, and Queen Bee has been our best example. It has been one of the world's leading transfer print supplier for all European and US brands. They supply their products to around 150 leading garment manufacturers in India. It is also to note that Queen Bee is the winner of prestigious Print Week of the Printing Company of the Year for 2014. It's a pleasure today to have Mr. Udupa, who is associated with Queen Bee since 2006 and currently in the Operations Director role here. He's a postgraduate in Business Management from Bangalore University, and before joining Queen Bee, he was head of production and operations in Gokul Das Images for the knitwear factories. Warm welcome, sir. We are really excited to hear more about the textile and printing technologies. Over to you, Madhu.
Thanks a lot, Abhijit. And let's give a huge round of applause and welcome our new advisors on board. So we are also extremely delighted to see our advisors who have not only guided us, but also have made the past council meets really informative and interactive. So let me start with Mr. DJ Bangara, Founder and Managing Director, Outer Striping India Private Limited. Welcome, sir. We are eager to hear your thoughts on the theme today. Thank you, sir. So we will be joined by Mr. Gautam Pai by noon. So it will be a great honor to have him today amongst us because he has recently received the Mumbai Mudrak Sangh Lifetime Achievement Award in 2015 for his contribution to print industry and driving the print business of Manipal Group to a rupees 1,000 crore business since joining the group in 2005. So let's give a huge round of applause to him. So we also have Mr. Prasad, Managing Director, Printech Imaging Private Limited. Warm welcome, sir. We are eager to hear the voice of customer through you. So thanks a lot for coming. So our next advisor, in fact, he is the showrunner of the day. It's Mr. Ramu Ramanathan, Group Editor, Print Week and Campaign India. So the council meets gets bigger and better with your ideas. So we are excited to see you to take the center stage and anchor the theme in the second half. So welcome once again. We have our other advisors as well who could not join us today. Mr. Narendra Paruchuri, our esteemed advisor, could not make it today to the meet due to the sad demise of his father, Mr. Hanumant Rao. He is the founder of Pragati and a stalwart of the Indian printing industry. In his illustrious career, Mr. Hanumant Rao received many awards, including the Sappy Elephant Awards. Our deepest sympathies with Mr. Narendra. So we would like to convey that to him as well. So we also have amongst our advisors Mr. Fahim Agbotwala, Mr. Prabhuddha Das Gupta, and Mr. Rishi Kharalkar, who could not make it to the meet today due to prior commitments. So with the advisors that we have currently, so we are going to make the show really exciting for all of you, and it's a day-long event today, and you're going to learn a lot. So I promise you that. So colleagues, for the next 1.5 hours, you'll get to hear from our industry leaders about the application of technology. So we request you to please make note of the questions if you have any during the course of presentation, and we'll have the Q&A session at the end, so you can ask the questions at that point in time. So Abhijit, over to you.
Thanks, Madhu. So let me now welcome one of the charismatic leaders of EFI, Mr. Toby Wise, Senior Vice President, General Manager of Fiery. With more than 1.7 million installations worldwide, EFI's Fiery Color digital print server is the clear market leader, and Toby is charged with ensuring that Fiery remains world's most popular workflow. So Toby, over to you to set the tone for the day.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. It's a real honor to be here. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes, okay. It's a terrible question to ask, because if you can't hear me, then you won't be able to answer. I came very excited to the event today, normally based in our Silicon Valley headquarters in Fremont, California. And I don't know how many of you are aware of this story, but certainly in the US, last week was actually overtaken by talk about color management. And being in the print industry, it's unusual for this to happen. Usually the story of the week is some sports or politics or something like this. But there was a particular story last week that overtook the entire internet. And I don't know if you are familiar with it, but I want to ask you to look at this picture. I would like to see a show of hands. This is a article in the New York Times, but it captured what was something that they say melted the internet last week. With 16 million hits in 6 hours, at one point 700,000 users simultaneously looking at this one picture on BuzzFeed. A show of hands, how many people in the audience believe that this dress is blue and black? And how many people in the audience believe that this dress is gold and white? Wait a minute, how can it possibly be? Are we looking at the same picture? Maybe it's different on each monitor. No. It's quite fascinating. You do not see the topic of color management make its way to the top of the New York Times or the absolute most popular story on BuzzFeed. But I chose this picture because it's quite interesting how we can look at the same picture and have different views. And to me, that's a big part of what the advisory panel and council is all about. It gives us an opportunity to hear different views of what's happening from the media, from the leaders, from people in textile, in ceramics, in digital, in offset, and for us to take all of these views and help EFI really with you to learn and to hopefully continue to shape the future of print. Now what's interesting about this dress, I'll tell you why you think that this is different colors. Again, I was interesting, about half of you thought it was blue and black, and half of you thought it was gold and white. Every time I look at the picture, I see blue and black. Except one time, I actually saw gold and white, and I got very confused. How can I even see two different pictures? There's actually some science behind why you see the different colors on this. And it has to do with your brain. Your brain is trying to process the light in the background of the dress. And if I go back, actually, let's see if I can go back one slide here. Is that going to work? You'll notice that in the picture you don't see any skin tones, and you don't really know where the light is coming from. And these are two very important cues that your brain usually works in order to process color. And in this case, your brain is trying to figure out what's actually happening with the color. If your brain thinks that the dress is in the shadow, then it actually removes the blue. And so those of you who said that you thought the dress was white and gold, your brain is looking and saying, I think that this dress is actually in the shadow right now. However, if we were able to see the skin tones more clearly, then the picture would look something like it does in the middle. However, if you think that the dress is being washed out by the light, actually, then you're going to perceive the color to be a little bit darker than it is, and you will actually see it being blue and black. It's quite an interesting phenomenon, and your own brain can actually switch how you see the image as well. It started a simple picture at a wedding where the mother of the bride was wearing this dress, and these two people were discussing what color is it, and they got into an argument. So the woman took a picture and posted it to Tumblr and said, what picture is this? What color is this? And before you knew it, you had social media phenomenon, and still we don't really know. By the way, Pantone, a good partner of EFI and certainly considered one of the experts in color management, has determined the dress is indeed blue and black. But of course, that is with the benefit of taking the dress and putting it into proper light and seeing it in its proper configuration. I thought this was interesting because, again, it just shows us that even looking at the same picture, we can form different views, and to me, that's a big part of the learnings that we can get from the council. Well, today's council is all about the applications of technology in the digital printing and packaging worlds. And, the applications in many senses are truly exciting. When I think about the opportunities that are presented, I almost think that the opportunity is boundless. Certainly, when you think about the packaging world, it's almost everything that we touch, everything that we buy. It is, in all senses, the package is what is selling us or compelling us on the product itself. As our CEO, my boss, is often pointing out, packaging will probably never turn to be replaced by an iPad or something like this. I think there's no danger that we will go to the store and see blank toothpaste, and then the toothpaste company will email us a PDF later on of the contents of the toothpaste or what brand it is. Packaging will continue to be, for the foreseeable future, a very, very big market for print. But when we look at the opportunity, we really see it's changing. The world is changing. It's more than just print. It's really an opportunity to transform many, many industries. And if you think about that, it implies that a couple of technologies, certainly inkjet, certainly workflow, can be combined so that an image can be printed on almost anything. And the creativity of our customers never ceases to amaze me. The applications that we've seen are just truly amazing. We've seen customers, of course, print on paper substrates, brochures and booklets like the agenda you have in front of you. We've seen packaging and labels, but of course, now with LED technology and the ability to print on thinner substrates due to less heat and not having to tamper on those substrates, we've seen new materials being printed. My favorite, actually, you can see in the middle of the picture, are the beach sandals or flip-flops, which have been printed and can be customized. We have customers printing on guitars. Of course, there's going to be various textiles, building wraps, car wraps. At a recent Connect conference, there was a company that was wrapping a Tesla electric car on the show floor, which was, of course, very exciting to see. And so it's not just about printing as we normally think about printing. It's really about transforming an entire industry. I was talking this morning to some of the advisors, and they said the same thing. An entire industry has been transformed to on-demand manufacturing. And that can be the industry of ceramic tile. That could be certainly the textile industry is undergoing enormous amount of change. When you talk to the leaders in those industries, and we have them here, privileged to have them, and you're going to hear all about what they're doing later on, you'll hear things like, I'm being pressured to have faster turnaround time. All of my partners, the retailers that we shop for clothes in, like in Europe, H&M, wants to have less inventory, wants to have faster turnaround. They want to have not just 4 seasons of clothing, but be able to have 6 or 8 seasons and have enormous amount of turnaround. Companies like Home Depot and Lowe's do not want to maintain enormous inventories of ceramic tiles. They want to be able to do print on demand. And so in Silicon Valley, we get a little bit frustrated being a company on print and imaging, because everyone in Silicon Valley is always talking about the Internet of Things. And while the Internet of Things is certainly exciting, we think equally exciting is the concept of the imaging of things. It's our own version of the IoT. And so while it might be exciting to have your thermostat connected to the internet, we think actually even more exciting is the idea that anything can be printed in the future. Whether, of course, it could be signage like today, but what we'll see in the future is wood will be printed, glass is of course printed. We'll continue to see textiles, ceramic tiles, and in this world where anything can be digitally printed, entire industries are going to be transformed, and that I think is what is so exciting about the opportunity we have in front of us. While there's still trillions of pages printed in the world, we're going to see even more things printed. The carpet, the walls, all of the materials that we have. Of course, today we're surrounded, as our iPhone cases can be digitally printed, and our glasses and many other things that we have. And you're going to see some, I think, pretty exciting applications from the panel members a little bit later on. But let's break this down. How can we get to this new world of the imaging of things? And I think it's probably good to put things in context into 3 areas that are enabling this transformation. The first one is inkjet and a technology. And it's important to look at what is it that we're jetting onto, what materials, how are we jetting onto those materials, and then ultimately the workflow that surrounds this ecosystem as well. And so a little bit of a lengthy slide here, but we'll talk about how we're jetting. And in this particular area, if you look at the applications that we have, the applications have some pretty extreme behaviors. I would say they are, in many senses, pushing the limits of what we have. We're jetting an enormous amount of material that is, moving at, in some cases, over 100 meters a minute through our various printing technologies. In the decorations market, I would say mainly low resolution, but we're also seeing things like special effects, which can be 3-dimensional textures, can be various things. There's some interesting print technologies on the market, printing things like glitter and other effects, various liquids, substrates, concretes that are being printed on textiles and so on. And so in combination with the speed, the amount of ink that needs to be put on the substrates, and the 3-dimensional effects, etching and texture as well, we're really pushing the limits, and we might even need to see new types of ways that material can be jetted in the future as well. In fact, we're probably pushing the limits of drop-on-demand technology as we speak. So this is the first area, which is pretty exciting. Of course, the more traditional area is the world of cut sheet printing on paper, which is requiring as well high speed, but the high speed in this case is a couple of hundred pages per minute. Maybe some new companies like Landa are pushing the digital limits here with thousands of sheets per hour in that world. But that world is a very, very different world. It's very high resolution. Color management is at, I think, a level that the other world is not quite at yet. and things like great text definition and being able to look up things into very close range is absolutely paramount. So in terms of how we jet, there's really two different worlds right now. There is the paper and substrate, and then there's printing on all of the other substrates, and both of them incredibly exciting, really pushing the limits of the technology I think that we have right now. And then we get into onto what are we actually jetting? Here I think we have a wide range that we have. But the ultimate goal, if we're going to have the imaging of things, is to be able to print on basically anything. On wood, on vinyl, on concrete, certainly ceramic tile, glass, fabrics, metals, right? The idea would really to be able to print on anything. One of the other interesting applications these days is being able to print on thermoforming plastic that can then be heated and melted and covered onto other topics. And with each of these materials comes their own challenges. I remember when EFI first acquired the company Creditprint on ceramic tile printing, and one of the challenges that the customers had was being able to do a proper proof of a ceramic tile. It's a big challenge to print the tile, to then glaze it, to put it into the oven, to then get it to match what was the expectation. And I remember the original people in our Spanish office telling my development team, it's very nice that you can try to make a proof of this print, but it's basically impossible. We've been trying it for over 10 years. There's no way that you would ever be able to create a proof of what's going to come out of the kiln, the oven, when you're finished. And our very brilliant engineers, in this case from our German office, sat and nodded their head and said, okay, and just kept working and working. And lo and behold, the proof that was able to come out was able to actually mirror that product. And it's transformational for that industry, because never before was someone able to see a proof without having to spend an entire day actually doing that. And as we see on these new materials, it's going to continue to be the same. The challenges that exist in printing on the different substrates are enormous. They each absorb color very differently. They each take a long time, oftentimes, to print. The materials themselves can be quite heavy and difficult to get to a customer to sign off what a print is going to look like. Their materials can be expensive as well. They oftentimes require long runs. So the substrate of what we're printing on is driving a lot of the workflow and requirements, and is creating certain bottlenecks in the process as well. Yet, our customers are certainly going to be demanding the same things that they've been able to receive from digital printing in forever. They're going to want shorter turnaround times. They're going to want to be able to have digital proofs. They're going to want to be able to have personalization and create their own images as well. We're going to have to face this in terms of regardless of what substrate we're actually printing on. Now, besides the substrates, those are then being put into different applications. Of course, display graphics is very popular as we walk all over, and in Bangalore you can't get away from it. Just being on the street, every single store has a very big display graphics. But of course we have the applications of clothing, of labels, of building materials, home decoration, so on and so forth. This is, of course, another very important point in terms of the applications of digital print. Now, lastly, the workflow is, I think, a key component of this entire equation. As the number of applications is increasing, as the demand for those applications is increasing, as we enter new markets with digital print, such as corrugated packaging, cartons, labels, and so on, what we see is that the workflow has become more and more important. From the few conversations I had this morning, workflow came up immediately. I was told, and you'll hear all about this in Textile, my customers, if I can quote you, they want turnaround time of less than 7 days now, right? And it's moving. They used to want 9 days, now they want 7 days. Next year they'll want 5 and 4 and 3, and eventually they'll want as fast turnaround time as they can get from going to a print on demand as they do with their paper brochures. Additionally, the workflow is certainly responsible for helping to optimize and reduce the expense that's associated with printing. Printing, as an industry, we still have way too many manual touch points, and so an automated workflow is incredible to avoid mistakes and also to increase efficiencies. And a workflow is important, of course, to increase the top line, to reach out to more customers, to expand via the web, as well as to properly understand how a business works, not just with an e-commerce site, but also with enterprise resource planning or business management software as well. And so it's not just about the printing technology and the substrate and the workflow, but how each of these things behaves together, because they're all connected. It's not enough even today to have a completely automated system. What one needs is the feedback mechanism where the system is learning and adjusting. If you take this to the extreme, you have new forms of inkjet, new substrates. Well, the workflow software needs to be able to find where there are problems in the system and compensate. So, for example, if a nozzle is out, workflow software might need to be able to detect that and compensate the inkjet heads to actually make up for that type of inherent problem so that the production systems do not miss a beat. Uniformity of color is another area, of course, we're probably more familiar with. If the inspection systems can actually see that there's a problem in the production process, they too ought to be able to provide feedback mechanism so that the systems can be properly linearized or calibrated and adjusted to provide the uniform color. It's these types of workflows that are really going to differentiate and enable the printers to secure the business of their customers and ultimately grow it. They'll be wanting to provide their customers a guarantee that the product is going to be delivered consistently and with a high quality and a high inspections to verify that, and the system that's going to compensate for those differences. So it's all of those three working together, the technology of the inkjet, the substrate, the workflow in concert. Now, what's going to drive all this? And of course, the logical answer is the customer is going to be a big part of the driver. And I think every printer will say the customer's telling them already today they want faster turnaround times, they want higher quality. Of course, they're going to want lower price. But it turns out in the study that was done by one of the industry analysts that price is not the highest of concerns for the customer. Now, they will always tell us it's the highest concern, of course, just like when we go to buy a car, we don't tell the dealer, we've already selected the car that we want. We tell them, it's all about the price. I want the best price that you can have. Price is actually rated as number 6 from the customers. The real driver for the customer, of course, is that they get the service that they want in the time that they want with the quality that they want. And far and away what we see, number 1 right now, the customers demanding is shorter turnaround time. If you look at Apple as an example, when they launch the new iPhone, iPhone 6, they cannot afford to tell all the printers in the world 2 months ahead of time that they're going to be launching the new iPhone 6 and then pray that all of the printers keep this secret as they prepare all the materials. Rather, Apple tells them, we have a new product coming out, we'll give you 12 hours notice, and we need all of the prints ready immediately after that, because they can't afford for the announcement to be leaking out. If you look at leaders in the textile industry, they too are looking to have zero inventory, very fast turnaround time. The same with the ceramics industry. And so turnaround time is paramount. While run length is also continuing to get shorter because there's a need for more personalized documents, more personalized materials, certainly textiles. The one area that we haven't seen this as big of an impact yet is probably in the packaging world, but I think everyone is expecting that this is going to come. It's just a matter of time. One of the most successful Coca-Cola campaigns of all time is this campaign they have right now with the name on the side of the Coca-Cola. They have this in India. It says, please, no, you guys might not know about it. Okay. Well, the rest of the world, there's on the Coca-Cola cans, it says, please give this Coca-Cola to, and then it has a name on it. Give this Coca-Cola to, share this Coca-Cola with John or with Mike. I've never seen one that says Toby yet, but I know the printer who does it, so I've asked them to make one for me. But this is the most successful Coca-Cola campaign in the history of Coca-Cola. And this is a company who's had, a very, very, very rich history of a tremendous amount of marketing success. And their biggest, most successful campaign ever is a variable print, personalized print campaign. It's pretty remarkable. I met the company that does that. They're a big EFI customer in the US of our Radius software. And so the customer is going to be a big driver, but oftentimes the customer doesn't know what to ask for. So we're going to have to enable our customers to offer to them, to tell them, hey, we can offer you this. Of course, they'll ask for a shorter turnaround time, but they're not always going to be aware of all of the other things that they can be offered in terms of variable print and other high value add. But there's some technology drivers as well. And technology obviously is going to be an enabler of all of this. A big one is the LED technology in print. And this is transforming many parts of the industry because the printers are using less energy. They're able to print on different substrates without causing any warping or bending or difference. And the cold curing of the ink is dramatic. The ink itself is changing, and there's a tremendous amount of technology improvements happening in the world of ink. And being able to take ink and actually, for example, melt it, as I was saying earlier, without it losing its characteristics of color, to be able to have it withstand different temperatures in ceramic kilns, to have it absorb the proper way through various textile processes and washing is obviously incredibly important. And so ink itself is also continuing to have a tremendous amount of innovation. The workflow, I think we're not even close to what we can do there. We have, I think, pretty good systems today for workflow, but they're disparate. And so they're going to not only come together, but there's going to be a tremendous amount of learning of how things can be done in a better way as these workflow systems come together. I remember the first time I ordered a product online on the internet back in probably 1996, and the product arrived in my house and my name was spelled T-O-B-B-Y on the package that arrived. My name only has one B in it. And I thought, how in the world was my name spelled incorrectly when I entered my name onto the system? I did not misspell my own name. And obviously, someone took it from a screen and had to copy it into another application. And this is the way the print industry still works today in many regards. The systems are not integrated, they're disparate. A job ticket is handed or rewritten and passed around. And so I think we have a lot of innovation to do, not just in the integration of the workflow systems, but as those get integrated, we're going to learn about new workflows that come down the line. I remember the first time I heard about Amazon.com and how they actually print books, and I thought, oh, well, they must have a big warehouse with all the books, and this would be exactly how they're so efficient. They don't have to have the stores. Well, no, Amazon doesn't do that. Amazon was printing books with a run length of 1. Because they can have a system where you go and order the book online. If you're an Amazon Prime customer, they promise to deliver you the book within a day. They submit your package. And so this means from the time you order the book, they actually have a run length of literally 1 book. It's quite amazing. There's actually, in India, I don't think we have the system just yet, and I suspect it will be coming very soon. I know some of the council members are smiling because they're probably very involved in that. But the idea that you can really just have a truly on-demand workflow system and have things printed anywhere. So there's a tremendous amount of innovation. I plan to ask the council members a lot about this and what types of things will drive their business a little bit later. And then the last point I wanted to make, which is probably unique, or is definitely unique to India, is the new Indian budget. And will this be a driver? And I'm not going to promise to be an expert on the system, but from what my understanding, there seem to be a lot of opportunities here as well because of this new Indian budget. First is the growth rate. In the new budget, I think there is a growth rate of 7 to 8%. That's going to drive a tremendous amount of consumption, of course, and that consumption is going to drive, I think, the entire industry up. Certainly in the world of packaging, that would be a big driver. I know that one of my staff members was very excited about the reduction in the tax on automobiles. So where's Sunil? Are you buying a new car? He was very excited. Well, I know, where's DJ? He should benefit from that, doing a lot of the automotive printing, obviously, if there's going to be, hopefully an increase in demand for that, the excise tax. Real estate is, I think, going to increase, is one of the tenets of the new Indian budget, which would imply the ceramic industry would certainly benefit from that if you do the math in terms of the number of housing there. And then, also I think we see power as one of the tenets of the new Indian budget, which might mean printing all sorts of new materials, perhaps solar cells, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of exciting things in this new budget as well that I think could drive some of the need in the industry. So it's an incredibly exciting time, I think, right now. We have the new technology being pushed to the edge of the limits. We have the software that can tie it together. We have the ability to print on almost any substrate. We have the customers who will be demanding faster business and faster turnaround time. We have success stories that show us that this can drive up even a classic product like Coca-Cola if done the right way. And the opportunity is, I think, really there for the taking. And so we're incredibly excited here at EFI. And, to us, we look forward to spending the day learning with the rest of the advisory council members and talking about all these exciting applications and how you all are digesting all of this and what you can do and what it means for your various industries there. So with that, I'd like to thank again the advisory councils for taking the time to come here. It's very exciting for us, and I look forward to asking you all sorts of challenging questions later, and also hearing your insights about where we can go with the applications of all of this technology. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand it off now to our next speaker. Thank you.
Thanks, Toby. That was, as always, brilliant. Hope you have reserved all your questions for Toby. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. I'd now like to call upon stage Mr. Sachindranath Udupa to present on the application of print technologies in the textile industry. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Today I'll be presenting I'll give a small presentation on the textile industry and the scope, printing in textile industry and the scope for the printing and textile altogether. Introduction. Many people may not require an introduction, but the part of the starting, I'll tell you. Textile industry, we may not be aware, it's the second largest employment provider in India, next to the agriculture. Agriculture industry provides more employment. And India is the second largest textile exporter in the world. Only 2 years, last year only we crossed the German. It is exceeding $40 billion last year. And if you ask about the first one, China, they are way ahead with India, 220 billion. It contributes 4% of our GDP. 27% of it contributes 27% to our exchange. And business expected to touch 220 billion by 2020. And it's almost equal to China, the way it is growing. May not be the correct field. This is like a government target for the 220 billion they want to put for that. What are the opportunity for Indian market in textile? Declining China market. This is the biggest opportunity because India's textile and China textile, there is a vast difference. Even there is 5 to 10% decline from China market. I think we gain a lot. We gain a lot for this industry. And the other competitor for our textile is underdeveloping countries like Bangladesh or Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam. And Bangladesh is also the biggest textile exporter, but recent days they have not compliant with that textile manufacture requirement. We heard about a lot of fire, death for the producer of Walmart, garment and all. Those buyers have stopped producing their goods in Bangladesh. That business is moving towards India, Vietnam and Sri Lanka. And we see that political unrest in Ethiopia and Indonesia, countries like that, and a lot of European US buyer, they are stay away from those countries because traveling will be a big problem for them to monitor their production. There are three big countries like Sri Lanka and Vietnam. They are the emerging market. They are doing much more better than India when it comes to textile. But the problem, they can take only the limited volume. These countries are not have the capacity to what India can produce or Bangladesh can produce. But they are growing faster than India in the textile market, and they will be a big competitor for India in a short run. This is what about Indian textile industries, and we don't have the accurate figure of print business in textile, how much it is involved, cloth printing, textile, fabric printing and all. Approximately the general assumption is 10 to 15% of the textile is required printing. You see any cloth, any garments or anything, majority of them will have a print. So that is the assumption, exactly 4 billion. This is one of the example for the printing. What are the types of printing? This is a traditional method of block printing. They will keep a block. They take a screen like this, print the red color first, print the blue color first, and they create a correct design. How you print in an offset, CMYK. You print everything in 4 color, but in the screen printing, they will take the exact color what is there. It may be 5, 6, 10, 12, but very lengthy method. Then because of the slowness of the screen printing and last few years, this has become very popular, automatic printing machine, where they will set up the screen in the everywhere on the panel like what you see on the machine. They will fix the screen, different color, it will a round type machine, so every time screen will move, bed will move from one to other, and it prints automatically. Heat transfer print. Heat transfer print is like where we involved in the business, where we print the actual design in a paper, special paper, character, and we put a blocker adhesive on the top of the print. It will stick to the garment. It will be applied on a specific temperature. Like this is the machine what after printing the offset. I will show some example after this meeting. Any design related to Mickey Mouse, Disney character, any Disney printed on that, we'll put a blocker, and all garment manufacturer will have a specialized machine to apply this on the cloth. And in this you will get a better clarity on the good clarity of the design, and it is quicker. When you want to do volume, people will opt for the transfer print. Digital print. Again here they will put the t-shirt on this, you can see the machine. You feed the particular design into the machine, whatever the color is there, it will print. And it gives a very good output, very attractive output. The problem here again the volume. When it comes to big volume, this has become very slow. You can do, maybe machine can produce 200, 100, 150 to 200 per day. And it is very expensive and ink consuming compared to your screen printing or transfer printing. Sublimation. Sublimation printing is the other is as good, same as the transfer printing, but in sublimation printing, we don't put adhesive on the top. We coat the paper, we put the different sublimation ink, which can submerge into the polyester fabric as a print. It will bond into the polyester fabric. You can see that all the cricket, IPL, cricket India match, or football, any football, this is printed. Those things printed on a white fabric with the black color sublimation with all those designs. These are all printed by us for information. IPL Chennai. So there is a process, dye sublimation process is where you take an image that has been created digitally, or you get it wherever you have design, or you get it from a FTP, anything. Then it will print the design image using special ink and special paper. Once the paper is placed under heat on the top of the polyester, it requires a polyester content. To print any sublimation on the fabric, you need to have polyester content, because the ink will turn into the gas, that heat. Once you make it to wet, then it will create the design. That is the technique. Sublimation on the cotton, as of now, it is not possible. We are working on that because we want to give a special coating on the top of the cotton fabric and try to make it sublimation. This is the process of sublimation, which I already explained. Mirror image, you will get it. Image printing in a transfer paper, paper media, heat transfer the machine. Then when the cool, you will take it out. Application is ready. You see how it works. Printed transfer paper and the polyester fabric together, brought together. There is a special machine application for sublimation because it should be applied in a very high temperature, 200 plus degree. Normal fusing machine, you cannot do it sublimation, and you require a wider format application machine. Apply the heat as usual, then the color will transfer into the polyester fabric. This is already I explained that. You can go through that. High temperature is required. With the solid dye, convert into the gas without ever becoming a liquid. That is the whole technique of sublimation. The same high temperature opens pores where is the gap between the polyester yarn and allows the gas to enter. When the temperature drops, the pores closes and the design will remain there. This dye sublimation can be done only with the natural material as is 100% cotton. And the dye practice design the bond to the polyester and ignore everything else. Wherever the polyester content is there, the dye will bond into that polyester area. So 100% polyester will give you the best sublimation result. 50 by 50-50 polyester will give blurred design because 50% of the design only can submerge into the design. There are various means of sublimation printing. Again, rotograver is feasible for bulk quantities where it is something like a 4-color drum will be there and you have to print volumes similar to the offset machine where they will fill the ink in the 4 drums. Where you have a huge volume, it is feasible. Otherwise, you can't fill the ink and take some 100, 200 sheets. Offset sublimation, again it is on volume. How you printing transfers on the transfer print in the offset machine. Same, we can print the sublimation in the offset using special sublimation ink, special sublimation paper. Then we can apply directly onto the polyester fabric. Here again, when you go to the offset, you need volume minimum of 10,000, 5,000. It's 100, 200. You will be wasting so many sheets to achieve the color in the offset. It is not feasible. Offset is not feasible for smaller volume. And color matching, again, color matching is very tedious because in an offset machine, who are all there in the printing industry, if somebody requires accurate color to achieve in the before starting, they will be wasting a couple of 300, 400, 500 sheets. So by the time your order is 1,000, you will be wasting 50% of your paper and ink for achieving the color. There is other one is a digital sublimation. In the digital sublimation, you feed a design to the computer where so many people are having now, textile manufacturer, they will be having all this. They feed the design, they take the printout of that particular image, then they apply directly on the fabric. Again, it is good for the smaller volume. When it comes to bigger volume, this is slow and expensive process. Small print like any character will cost in the digital sublimation, if it costs 50, in the transfer or direct print, it will be like 20, 25 rupees. That's the difference. It is double. But it works. It is when the garment manufacturer can depend on their own, if they have the digital machine, will not depend on any printer or like us. These are some products of the sublimation, where the umbrella, shoes, mobile cover, laptop sleeves, wallet holder, card holder, clutches, tote bag, ribbon. Even there are some companies in India, they print sublimation on a wooden. You may ask me, just now I told it is only possible in the polyester. The technique has come to print sublimation on anything. I think just Toby has explained. There is some company in America, they supply the special ink and paper if you want it for other devices. They can print the sublimation using those ink and paper, but again, not on a bigger volume. It is very slow process, very expensive process. There are few companies, one company in, if I know that Mumbai, they started this printing on wooden sublimation. It's just on experimental. I think they are not released it to the market. There are some sublimated products. You can see our shoes. So Nike shoes, we supply the sublimation. If you see that Nike shoes on the front, fluorescent and blue color, all this. So what we're doing that the particular, we make a gradation in the sublimation and we print and supply to Nike shoe manufacturer. They will take up, they will apply on the particular part, so they will get a nice gradation. Otherwise, you cannot achieve such gradation in the direct printing or anything on a small part of the shoe. You can see that there is only small front and back, there is only a printing. And now there is a demand for this sublimation for that bed sheet, cotton, where there is a continuous roller sublimation machine. That is the increasing demand. So they print the sublimation paper in a roll format, continuous roll format. There is a machine available to apply continuous roll. Your bedspread or bed sheet or any continuous cloth, sorry, everything can be done in a sublimation. This is one, I can say that next 2-3 years it will become very much demanding in India. That all roller printing or manual printing, everything will stop. People will find a way to develop this sublimation for a paper or a ink, it's sublimated can into the cotton, that's the end of it. I can see a big future on that, those things. Sportswear sublimation, that is the Indian world, now it is not Sahara. That is how we print. We print the design, the blue color design with the all gradation on a paper, apply it, there is application machine, then we give it to garment manufacturer in Sri Lanka. They will cut according to the garment shape and it will come. Digital sublimation gives a fast and easy solution and a variety of printing needs with acceptable faster output. So digital sublimation is slow when it comes to smaller volume, but when it comes to continuous volume, there are machines are available which requires a huge investment, like a blower machine with the continuous printing, continuous roll-wise printing, continuous application. Those things will be it is going to the future for next 1 or 2 years. Everybody will look into those kind of things. Market tended customize. Everybody want a quick, some design is it, just it showed. Even for a local brand or anything. Oh, this design is popular. You get me in 5 days printing. Sublimation is the best option if there is a smaller volume. You put the design on a computer, print it in your sublimation machine, apply it, deliver it. 3 days, no problem. 2 days, no problem. We can provide the print in 1 day. Where the other method, it requires minimum 3 to 4 days. Even it is a smaller volume, it is not possible. Roadmap of technology for textile industry printing. Technology upgradation. This is how I said, if you go around other countries or European sublimation, they are working hard to come nearer to that technology upgradation. We are there, we are not far behind, but some of the technology is coming here, like the ink, special paper. Where I print the transfer paper, we buy about 10 million paper. There is not a good paper manufacturer in Asia. We have to buy only one company in France and another one in Korea to get that volume. That is called technology. We can get the paper. We have enough paper in India, but not to the extent of same level of coating, how the releasing, everything. Productivity. Productivity in India, I am talking about textile market. It is comparatively we are slower. We are slower than Sri Lanka and Vietnam. We are slower. We are good than Bangladesh, but Bangladesh can offer a cheap price because of their labor is cheap. Productivity, what I am seeing in the smaller countries are really working hard. Because Sri Lanka, if you take a country like Sri Lanka, they don't have anything else other than garment. They don't have software or any government is giving good encouragement. Over in Sri Lanka, people who are all having, this is my future. This is the only thing my country can grow. So everybody giving maximum effort to improve their productivity. They are about 12 to 15% more productive than India. Their Indian production is very slow compared to those Sri Lanka and Vietnam, China, these three. Quality. Quality is a must, and it's not like we are giving quality on it. Focusing more on the quality. And Bangladesh today is declining. One is the compliance, one because of the quality. China market, white China market declining, one because of the price. Main thing is the price, next is the quality. China is only on volume. And where we can match China price and we can give a better quality, I think we have enough chance to bring at least some of the China business to India. This is what I explained, raw material. If you want a quality raw material, we'll have to depend on somebody else. We have good ink manufacturer in India. What happens actually, they don't comply with the chemical, European restriction. So our company, as like we supply majorly for European US theater, we are not in a position to use many Indian ink manufacturers. Paper, there is no quality for a best product. So we have to strengthen the raw material base. We need to see that somebody is good in paper manufacturing, he should focus on that. My quality, I will give the international quality of paper, what others are producing. Maybe they need to go around and see that how other countries are performing in this. Product diversification, it is already there. You can see that traditional method of block printing on a saree and a sublimation printing, it is already there. We need to adopt quickly before somebody captures that this diversification has come, or others are, everybody knows that there's a sublimation is there. Sublimation is possible on the continuous fabric. Sublimation, countries like Sri Lanka, Vietnam, they're all working on that. They want to make investment on that. Before somebody capture, and we should get the technology first and capture that market. Development of human resources. It is for the printing industry. The biggest problem today is the printing industry, like you get a lot of IT graduates, you get a lot of BCom graduate, and somebody good in printing, and if I need another technical manager, I have to, it's a tremendous job. We don't get people who are all good in printing. He should be good in color management, he should be good in a CAD, what type of CAD equipment I require, what kind of, that is the one. We don't have even though we have some specialized print institute, I think the contribution from the print institute, little more than any graduate. I think that area we need to get our big companies where here we are there, the council, think about developing some good resource for that, only for the printing industry, where we can in the future, because there is enough. We are far behind from China in compared to garments or anything, printing. I'm talking about only textile printing. Any printing, there is a huge potential is there. We need to develop the same manforce for that. We must upgrade and chemical restriction for ink manufacturing. What is required for other countries? What are the chemical restriction reach, compliance, that we need to upgrade. Europe and US not accepting our ink only because there is substance what they use our ink manufacturer. It is very sad. If I see some garment like Pantaloon or any brand, it contains of phthalate. Sometimes it contains phthalate. Phthalate is banned all over the world. And our local brand, they don't see that, where we are having, okay, this is phthalate, like it can, if a child touches to head, and it can even very harmful chemical. We produce print with the chemical for Indian market. When it goes to the abroad, where they will restrict, oh no, I don't do it. And there we need to concentrate. Non-availability high coated textile printing paper, this I explained. Upgrade our technique faster than other countries. So before somebody adopt the technique, we will have to upgrade. Competitive price. Anyway, competitive price is a must. If you give a higher price, you don't get anything. Price-wise, we can beat China price, but speed is a problem when it comes to China. Speed and the volume. If you take a big volume, you cannot match China with this thing.
Our price is now become almost same to China. But Bangladesh, Vietnam, Sri Lanka is offering better price. There we need to see competitive with them. And continuous market research in the sense where the market, textile market is moving towards, which area I can, children garment, where it is going from that retailer. Okay, in my case, I will look into the children garment. China, Marks and Spencer or H&M is producing from China, where it is going from China. So that is the business. We don't get any much business if it is a men's garment producer or anything, because men's t-shirt will not have much of print. When it comes to children, girls wear, there will be more of print. We should be looking for that such thing. This is how we have to expand our customer base. Everybody is doing. Expanding our customer base because beyond India. Every business, there is an opportunity for going. Indian business, anyway, we will do it. Looking at market or knowing your contact and all. Going beyond India is like, in my cases, we saw that China, Bangladesh problem. We had one incident in December 2012. There was a fire in Bangladesh factory, which produced a lot of Walmart printed garment. And for us, it is a big business. Even though we are not doing for Bangladesh, then we started researching, contacting Walmart. One of my friends working in Walmart, and he went to US where the business is moving. Business will go part to China, part to Ethiopia. Then we said, how can I move to Ethiopia? Ethiopia is a new one. And somebody we got hold of in Ethiopia and said that, okay, you are doing the printing. Send me the sample. I am newly starting Walmart printing. You are Walmart approved. That is how we will research and expand our customer base. And Kimby, in the first year, we are supplying only India. Next year, we decided we have to go beyond India. Then we saw that Bangladesh is a big market. We just entered Bangladesh, expanded that market. Year third, Sri Lanka we started. Now we are supplying to Egypt, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Ethiopia we started. 5 countries. Our next target will be we want to supply our print to China. Thank you very much for your patience listening. If anybody want to see the sample, it is available with us. Yeah. This is some of our end product used in the garment. We print this design in the offset machine and put a proper adhesive on the top. This is sublimation. Sublimation printed on a 50-50, 60-40 polyester and cotton blend. The same design, if you apply on a 100% polyester, it will be something like this. These are the designs. There is one popular serial movie in Europe. It was Top Hit Frozen. Frozen character was taken by Disney, and H&M got that Disney license for that their garment they can put it. Can you imagine, from October to till now, we have printed 2.3 million of frozen design for H&M stores. Only frozen, different type frozen. And there are 1.2 million we have to complete in next. There is a demand for that. If somebody go to Europe and anybody sees that those designs, all frozen design is supplied by our company. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a really informative session. Colleagues, the samples are kept here on the stage. Maybe at the end of the presentation, if you guys want to have a look, you can come up here and have a look at the samples.